Do you ever realise the period between Christmas and New Year, everyone just completely loses track of time, their identity, and everything going on in the world, and just resorts to drinking for 7 days straight? Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another pointless internet series, the show where I take various topics from all across the internet that have really annoyed me, and shout about them for 10 to 15 minutes. I hope you all had a lovely Christmas. Just kidding, I don't care at all. As some of you might be aware, for Christmas I, Mother Moocake, got my hands on a brand new camera for Christmas. So now finally, all you bastards in the comments can stop complaining about the video quality.
Oh, Moocake, your camera does not exert enough pixels for my Reddit camera supremacy.
Just fuck off, right? I really couldn't care less. Anyone that's been watching this show for a while will know that I just do not give a particle of a shit anymore. Just please, alright, look, my face is in 4K, or whatever it's fucking called, as is my deplorable background. There should surely be enough pixels to make this up now. If you're not satisfied with this, seriously, please die. No amount of pixels can stop this channel being an utter shit show. I tell you what though, here's something that was an even bigger shit show.
Wow! That was shit.
This time last year, I said, and I'll see you all for an epic 2020, because it can't get worse, can it? I mean, really. It can't get worse. Fuck me, was I wrong. I don't think anyone could have predicted that this year would have been so deplorably shit. The last few years haven't been particularly great anyway, but this one just took the home fucking run. Suddenly, the 2010s don't even seem that bad at all. And I fucking hated the 2010s. You know the way the human brain has only got a limited amount of space? Like, there's only so much stuff that you can fit in your head before your brain has to start forgetting things to make space for new shit. Well, it is my belief that so much shit happened in 2020 that it is physically impossible to remember all of it at any one given time. And so, seeing as most of us have deliberately deleted most of the horrendous events that have happened throughout 2020, I thought in today's video I'd do a sort of end of year roundup and go back over some of the main events of this absolute train wreck that we have called a year. Right from the first few days of this abysmal 366 days, there were fears of World War III. Do you remember that, guys? I can barely remember at this point. Feels like a fucking lifetime ago. It was what, like the 2nd, the 3rd of January when World War II started trending across fucking everything? We should have realised at that point that we were in for a bumpy ride. Australia then caught fire. I'm told that it does this quite a lot, but in the spirit of 2020, this time it was notoriously atrocious. And then, just as all that stuff was beginning to die down, this little thing called coronavirus happened. Hundreds of thousands of deaths, everyone locked away in their rooms and forced to social distance, and even more, countless fucking retards convinced that it's all a big government hoax. Do you remember when hoarding toilet paper was a thing? Do you remember that was happening at the start of this pandemic? That was what, 7 years ago now? I'm pretty sure the entire stock market crashed around the same time COVID started, but honestly, who actually cares? We're all fucked anyway. I still remember people saying that the 2008 market crash was a once-in-a-generation thing, and here we are on our second, guys. Epic! I think Trump was impeached around this time, shortly before or shortly after COVID started. I don't know. I'm trying to keep this reasonably chronological, but honestly, it is so difficult to keep up with the amount of shite that happened this year. Anyway, Trump was impeached around this time, for all the fucking good it did. Much like all our attempts in 2020, this one was completely futile. Murder hornets appeared, and then they just promptly fucked off. They were a thing for what, a week? I remember talking about them on Apis and thinking, well shit, we're going to hear about this a lot more. Where the fuck did they go? I'm convinced that the whole murder hornets thing was just another quick slap in the face from 2020 to remind us that this year was going to be hell. Everyone's getting a bit relaxed. Quick, send some murder hornets to remind them that everything's going to shit. Kim Jong-un was thought to be dead. And then he just wasn't. He was just completely fine out of nowhere again. Honestly, I barely remember anything about this point. It's such a blip compared to everything else that's happened. The only thing I remember about it was that a bunch of degenerates on Twitter started stanning Kim Jong-un's sister. Well, she is going to continue running a crackpot, xenophobic, die-hard communist dictatorship with no human rights, guys, but she is kinda cute, so we stand. Fucking morons. And then straight after that, the Black Lives Matter protest started over the death of George Floyd, which in turn led to many deplorable acts of violence, looting, riots, and just general acts of horrendous and unnecessary violence. We have now reached May, ladies and gentlemen. This is up to May 2020. We're not even halfway through the fucking year. It's like, it's just ridiculous. Ebola then reappeared because, you know, one virus outbreak apparently just isn't enough. Ebola and COVID happily two-teamed Africa for a while until eventually Ebola fucked off and was replaced by a huge freak swarm of locusts. I'm not making this shit up, it just sounds ridiculous after a while. The more I describe, the more it sounds like some sort of B-list disaster movie. California and the West Coast then caught fire, and much like Australia earlier in the year, this was reported as one of the worst wildfires in the region ever. I remember talking about this one as well because this particular wildfire was started by a load of fucking idiots going off into the woods and setting off a firework party or something like that for a gender reveal party. So just to repeat my points from the previous APIS where I talked about this, gender reveal parties are fucking stupid. The anti-mask, anti-COVID, conspiracy, boomer protests all started getting really bad about this point in time as well. In amongst a literal pandemic, the myriad of other protests going on, and the actual decay of society, a load of old, stupid white people thought now would be a good time to go to the streets and protest about wearing a piece of cloth over their face. With this kind of stupidity allowed to breed and thrive, surely we deserve everything that 2020 has thrown at us. I'm pretty sure that gets us to about November 2020, and I'm sure I've missed absolutely shitloads, but I can't be bothered to go back and check. It's just thoroughly depressing. Have I missed anything? Oh yeah! Trump lost the election, and instead of conceding like an actual sensible human being, he rallied all his boomer supporters to deny the election. What's that? I'm not pleased with the result. Please, conspiracy boomers, go ahead and state that this election was completely false, even though it wasn't. I have no fucking evidence. I mean, who am I kidding, actually? They've never needed any fucking evidence. Remember, guys, the election was rigged, 5G causes coronavirus, and masks have got secret little microchips in them that they're going to use to subjugate humanity. Who's they, I hear you ask? The lizard people, of course. Oh yeah, also, vaccines cause autism. Oh yeah, they've discovered a new strain of COVID as well. I mean, I just don't care. I really just do not care in the slightest anymore. Am I particularly hopeful for 2021? No. I've been saying it can't get worse since 2016. Recently, there's been a lot of talks about a COVID vaccine. You know, hopefully that will start to roll out properly within the new year. So there's that silver lining. But remember, kids, COVID isn't just gonna fuck off on January the 1st. A lot of people seem to have shoved that into their thick, stupid skulls that on January the 1st, 2021, COVID's just gonna magically disappear. It's not. So I suppose some parting words of wisdom. Happy New Year, look after yourself, and don't be a fucking moron.
As if millions of voices suddenly cried out in terror and were suddenly silenced.
Up next, one final kick in the balls from 2020. Adobe Flash Player is finally being shut down after 24 years of service to the internet. We've known that Flash Player is going to be closing down for about a year and a half now, but alas, the day of reckoning is finally here. By the time you're watching this video, it is more than likely that Flash Player no longer works. As a child that grew up in the 2000s, I think I speak for all of us when I say that Adobe Flash Player was the absolute fucking bomb. Shitty Flash games on the internet made up such an intricate and important part of my childhood, and I genuinely fear for future generations not being able to experience them. Never have I been happier than sitting in the back of an IT class in school, thoroughly bored and looking up Flash games to play. And these Flash games are fucking brilliant as well, because schools caught on to this shit. They very quickly realised that every bored student was just playing Flash games in the back of class, so they started blocking all the sites. And so to fight back, people started making Flash sites disguised as revision sites. You could go on mathsgames.com and pretend to revise algebra, when in fact you were playing fucking Bloons Tower Defense. Those were the days, my boy. So to the future generation of children sitting in the back of class, bored off your tits and unable to do anything about it, you can thank Flash Player's demise for your boredom. Now, it's not entirely a lost cause, because some of the best Flash games over the course of the year have started reappearing on places like Steam, or in independent from Flash sort of formats. That way, you can still play them even after Flash is gone. However, for every one Flash game that is reinstated and brought back to life, another 100 or so are just lost to time forever. Let's be realistic here for a moment, fellas. Let's just take off the nostalgia glasses for just a couple of minutes. Most of those Flash games were utter shit, so who actually cares? But you needed that shit. That shit was necessary. Without all the shit Flash games, the good ones couldn't shine. And now, regardless of their quality, they're all getting fucked in the ass. If there has ever been a time to put an F in the chat, ladies and gentlemen, it is now. In conclusion, fuck 2020.
Oh my god, stop bro, I'm stuck. Can you help me?
Next up, speaking of mass deletions from the internet, Pornhub has decided to remove all non-verified content from its platform. Basically, they pushed a button and in doing so, destroyed about 80% of the content on their site. Now, I'll be honest with you here, fellas, I really couldn't give a shit about this. Like, I just do not give a shit. Twitter seems to be absolutely fuming about it, so I thought I'd just bring it up very briefly anyway. I will say this much, it was kind of shitty of Pornhub to delete all these videos in the middle of a pandemic. You know, when we're all stuck at home without any friends or social contact or anything to do, Pornhub thought now would be a good time to delete 80% of its content. So, dick move on that part, but honestly, other than that, I just really couldn't care. If there is one thing that the internet does not and never will lack, it is porn. Just use another website, you fucking thirsty bastards. And finally, I thought I'd finish off on some actual good news to finish off the year that will always be remembered as Satan's cum rag. The meme movie is not happening. Praise the fucking gods. Now, I've been hearing fragments of information about this meme movie since like mid-2018. Basically, as far as I've been able to piece it together, following the success, kill me, of the Emoji Movie, it was rumoured that Sony Pictures were going to try and make a second terminal illness in the form of film, the meme movie. However, recently I was informed by this tweet that graciously this awful idea of a movie is not going to happen, so thank fuck for that. Further digging about this topic brought me to an article, but this article basically said that the whole meme movie was just a hoax from the very beginning and that it was never going to happen. But either way, I don't care. As long as it doesn't happen, I am happy. I don't give a shit any further than that. The rumoured plot of this movie, and I'm going to read this to you, the Trollface would travel across the internet to fight John Cena. I'm not making that up. Can you see why I'm very pleased that this movie is not happening now? Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that's all Mother Moocake's got time for today. Thanks very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Just a quick reminder that the previous video I uploaded was a 30-minute mockumentary on The Ellen Show and Ellen DeGeneres, in which I basically take you through everything and every reason as to why The Ellen Show fucking sucks. I'd highly recommend the video for obvious reasons. It did take me quite a while and quite a lot of work to put together, so any support you can throw it would be massively appreciated. I've also got another long video in the works, and I'm hoping to have that to you by the end of January, start of February 2021 if all goes well, and that one's going to be on dark web clickbait, so get your asses ready for that. Don't be a dumbass, yeah? There's my final parting advice for the new year. Just don't be a fucking dumbass, and I'm sure everything will be fine. I'm gonna fuck off now. Goodbye.